Should you book a cruise right now or not? So whether or not you should book a cruise really depends on you and your circumstances, but I have two schools of thought about this that might help you make up your mind. So the first one is whether you're flexible or not. And if you're flexible and you have the funds to spare and you find a great deal, I say go ahead and book that in. A couple of things to remember are that cruise lines are being incredibly generous, as they really have no choice but to be, with their customers and clients that have booked onto cruises that are later cancelled. As you'd all be well aware, cruise lines started putting in place cancellations or suspensions of cruises up until May initially, which was Princess. Some even said they were going to resume cruising in April, not happening. And now a lot of these have been extended into the middle of the year. So we're talking about June and July. So why I bring this up is because in all of these cases, when the cruise lines have cancelled or suspended cruises that passengers were booked on, they have offered their passengers either full refunds or they've also offered them future cruise credits, usually with incentives. So a future cruise credit might be up to 200%, sometimes 125%, 150%. So whatever you've paid, they'll offer you as a future cruise credit, something that you need to then spend with that cruise line on a future cruise. The value that you've paid plus whatever that incentive is. And in some cases, they've also offered onboard credits for when you make your next booking. So they're trying to make sure that passengers keep their funds with the cruise line. But if they have cancelled the cruise in most cases, and I'm pretty sure all cases, they've offered you a full refund, provided they're the ones that have cancelled the cruise. In the case that you decide to cancel the cruise of your own volition, so the cruise is still going ahead, but you just decide that you don't want to be on it anymore, traditionally you would be subject to the usual policy of the cruise line in terms of their cancellation schedule. So in most cases, if you cancel close to the cruise, you would lose either a deposit or then a portion of your full fare, up to 100% depending on the distance or length of time between when you cancel and the cruise departure date. But a lot of cruise lines are, obviously knowing the circumstances, have brought out policies that are designed to make people book with confidence. So what they're doing is allowing you to cancel up to 48 hours before the cruise date in some cases. So Royal Caribbean have done this specifically, and I know that other cruise lines have done similar things as well. So they really just want to ensure that people continue to book cruises, but have that flexibility to change their mind as the date draws near without losing their money. So keep this in mind. If you are flexible, if you have the funds to spare at the moment and you find a good deal, I say go ahead and book it. You will have the opportunity to either change your mind depending on the flexibility clause with the cruise line, so best to check that first before you make a decision anyway. And also you will likely, if they cancel the cruise, you will get your money back. You will get a refund or you will get a future cruise certificate option. So one thing to bear in mind with these future cruise certificates, this does not apply to all of these, but do check the terms and conditions that are applicable to the future cruise certificate that you get if you opt for it. And what I mean by that is, Carnival specifically have done this, and the future cruise certificate does not cover your deposit on your next cruise, and it does not cover, in some cases, the taxes and port fees. So if you paid $1,000 for your cruise and you opt for the future cruise certificate, which is say 150%, you would get back $1,500 to spend on a future cruise. But when you go to make that booking, you may still have to put a cash deposit onto that cruise in order to place the booking, and then your $1,500 future cruise certificate would then go against the remaining balance after the deposit, and quite possibly you would have to pay on top with your own cash the port fees and government taxes. So the portion of that on a fare isn't huge, but it's also something to be mindful of. And also, depending on the value of the future cruise certificate, you can tend to use that across multiple bookings. But just keep that in mind and keep an eye out for it. And then the other school of thought is if you are not flexible. So if you really do need to book something in knowing that this is the date that you're going, that this is the time that you have off from work, then no, I don't think you should be booking a holiday right now. And as a travel agent, that pains me to say that. But the honest truth is that we are in unprecedented times, and this situation continues to change, and we need to keep that in mind. So If you are flexible, I don't think there's anything wrong with booking something. And if you're not, then no, I don't think you should. It's as simple as that. But you might think differently, so feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you have a different train of thought, or if you've had an experience with the cruise line in this entire debacle, then feel free to let me know in the comments below and share your experience with us as well. And thanks for watching. I hope that's helped somewhat, and I hope that you're all staying sane and safe in isolation, and yeah, keep healthy out there and stay home. Thanks for watching.